In this video, I will show you one of the fastest ways you can complete your Cayo Perico scope out to find your primary target. I will not be scoping out any additional loot, but you can tailor this to your own run of the Cayo Heist and go from there. And before we jump straight into this video, we have a word from today's sponsor. Are you tired of grinding endlessly in GTA Online? Then look no further than Hyper Resupply. Hyper Resupply have a wide range of GTA Online account boosting options that can elevate your GTA Online experience. Things such as billions of dollars, modded cars, and much more. Even if you do not play GTA Online, Hyper Resupply has you covered across other games as well. For example, Forza Horizon, Need for Speed, and much more. Make sure you head over to their new website to see all of the amazing deals, and if you are still unsure, join their official Discord server, link in the description. In here, you will find all of the frequently asked questions, along with various giveaways and more. Hyper Resupply has the best prices on the market, and if you use my discount code EVIZ in all caps, you will be granted an additional 10% off your order at checkout. So first things first guys, we need to start the Gather Intel mission. In this mission, you will find your primary target for the heist. If you did not know, Rockstar did change the setup fee for this heist, and it will now cost you $100,000. But honestly, this is not too bad with how much you guys can make from the heist. Now that I have started the Gather Intel mission, to speed things up and get over to the Vellum faster, I would highly recommend that you actually use your Kasatka. Some of you guys might not know, but the Kasatka does have a fast travel feature, and it will allow you to fast travel across the map to different points, and it will only cost you $2,000. This feature will save you so much time when doing these setup missions. And also another tip that I can give you guys for this mission is that if you do have the Moonpool vehicle, specifically the Sparrow, you will be able to just enter this vehicle and fly over to the Vellum. After taking out the enemies at the Vellum, we now have a long flight, and most of the time this flight is pretty much all the way across the map.
One eternity later.
To speed this flight up, I would just recommend flying as high as possible. Sometimes you guys can get a speed boost when doing this, but even when flying as high as possible, this will still take a long time, so just be patient and you will eventually get there. Landing on the Cayo Island, at long last, you want to look for a bike. If you get lucky, you can grab this bike at the entrance of the airstrip, but sometimes this bike will not be there. If this bike is not there for you, you can look around this corner and a bike should actually spawn there 9 times out of 10. I think the bike will just be the best option for this. I feel like it is the fastest vehicle you guys can find on the Cayo Island, and it will help out a lot more than all of the other vehicles when getting around the island. But now that you guys have a bike, you want to leave the airstrip and go right up this hill. Once you guys get up and over this hill, you want to cross the land, but just be very careful of these poles. You guys can see in this clip, if you crash into them, even if you guys are going pretty slow, your character will just fly off the bike, and it can be so annoying trying to find the bike again. If this happens to you though, you can just keep spamming the Y button or the button for you that will enter vehicles, and this will just let your character lock on to the bike again. Just keep following the route I take until this point. In front of you there should be a checkpoint in the road. Now usually this would be super difficult to get past, but because we do have a bike, what we can do is just line ourselves up in between these two trees, and when we go past them, you guys want to pull a wheelie. If done correctly, you guys will just fly over the checkpoint and land on the other side. You guys might also want to time this correctly because sometimes the guards can turn around in the tower, and there could be a possibility of them turning around and seeing you. But now that you guys are past the security checkpoint, you can either find your way over to the communication tower yourself, or if you want to, you can just follow the same route I take. If you do follow the same route I take, just be very careful because you can also hit things over here as well, and you will fly off your bike again. At this point, you want to come up this hill and over to the comms tower. You guys will now be tasked with finding the circuit box. Now this can either spawn on the ground level, which is obviously ideal, or instead it will spawn up the tower itself. When you eventually find the circuit box, you want to complete the hack. You can either guess the hack or instead work it out yourself. Now for me, I always guess and just hope it works. I am honestly horrible at maths and numbers, and a lot of the time you guys can actually just guess this straight away. But now that you guys have hacked right into the security feed. To find your primary loot the fastest way possible, you want to press right on the D-pad. If you guys press left on the D-pad, it will take a lot longer to get over to the primary loot. And with how long it takes the cameras to switch, this will actually save you a bunch of time. You guys will see in the gameplay that I got tequila as my primary loot, and once you have found your primary take, you can now back out of the security cameras. At this point we are done, we just need to return back to Los Santos, and the quickest way possible to do this, as brutal as it sounds, is to just throw ourselves off the tower. Or instead, you guys can also get caught by the guards. I believe this will take longer though because there is a shortcut scene, but doing either of these things will return you back to the Vellum at the start of the Cayo Island. And now back over at the Vellum, you can now walk over to it, press right on the D-pad to return to Los Santos. And you are now done with the gather intel for the heist. Now just remember, you can scope out more items in the intel missions. For example, the secondary loot that you want in the heist. This will just come down to how you guys want to set up the heist. Now for me though, I like to use the airstrip for the finale, and I do not mind the secondary loot that I find as long as I fill my loot bag. I also know that a lot of people will just go for the gold method or glitch for the secondary loot in the Cayo compound. This is where people will use wall breaches, so for that you might not even need to scope out any secondary loot as well. Now for me personally, I have never actually used that glitch, especially on console. I can never seem to do it. I have tried it before though, but if you guys are confident in doing that, then you will most likely never need to scope out any secondary loot. Overall, this is one of the fastest ways you guys can gather intel, or at least find your primary target for the heist. I have been doing this for a while and it is very effective, but if you guys have a faster way or anything that can improve this run, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. This part of the heist is by far the most time consuming and can really drag out, but hopefully this video has helped you out in some way and you have found some tips in this video somewhat useful. If you have, make sure to leave a like, and if you are new here, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.